DJUGOCRAZY.
DJUTV, let them know who we got in the building.
Weaving from Pillars.
Weaving, what you on, bro?
Chilling, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Man, thanks for being here, bro. This right here is monumental. You feel me? So first of all, I'd like to say congratulations on all the success you've had with Pillars. The 4 stores, the quality clothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't go nowhere in Chicago without seeing Pillars.
That's a go, man.
Like for real, I went to the barbershop earlier. It was a nigga in the barbershop with it on.
Yes, sir.
When I was on my way here, I saw somebody walking down the street with it on. So, once again, congratulations. I'm very proud of it. You feel me? For sure. So we here to get to know you more. You know what I'm saying? The man behind the brand, you know, because everybody done seen Pillars throughout the city, but they might not know who, you know, who started all this, you know?
Yeah. It's that time, man. We ain't really been able to put a face to the brand, but it's that time to do that. So I'm grateful that I can do it with you, man.
For sure. So tell us where you from, bro, because I ain't gonna lie, I get a little confused. I don't know if you from Atlanta or if you from Chicago.
Yeah. So originally, I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
So I actually moved to Atlanta when I was in 9th grade. So I went to Boucher, graduated from Boucher, you know what I'm saying, right there on 79th. Yeah, east side. And then I went to Thornton for a semester. So I was, you know, kicking it in Riverdale, Dalton for a little bit, and then at that time my family picked up and moved to Atlanta. So I was in Atlanta for a couple of years, and then I came back to Chicago for college.
Okay.
So that's where it get a little confusing.
Right. So you went to high school basically in Georgia.
Yeah, I went to high school in Atlanta, and then I came back for college, then I went back. So I never left. You know, I was just always back and forth.
And high school, you went to Reading High School?
I literally went to like 5 high schools in Atlanta. So I went to high school every year. I do high school every year. Yep.
I had Robinson tell you how crazy your brand is. I was getting my tire changed, and I had on the Pillars T-shirt in Atlanta. And the guy who was working on my car, he said, "Man, you know Andre?" And I look at him, I'm like, "Who?" Then you know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah. He like, "Man, I went to high school with him, man." You know, he was so excited. I was excited. I'm like, "Bro, this shit really going crazy." So you went to Georgia for high school. You graduated high school. You came back to Illinois. You went to EIU.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about your EIU journey.
Man, EIU was love. You already know how it was. I mean, that's where I met you at. But you know, what I'm saying? It was a crazy ride, man. We did a lot of good things, which I use in my business today. You know, that was really where I became the business person that I am today from, you know, the stuff that was going on at Eastern.
For sure. So touching on that, I could tell you as a freshman at EIU, the movement y'all had going on, meaning the members of Phi Beta Sigma, shit, that's what we was looking up to. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all had all the parties cracking, y'all had all the girls, you know what I'm saying? The barn party every year, you know? Were you like the brains behind the barn party in terms of like putting it together?
Not the brains, but when I came in, I kind of put, you know what I'm saying, I put energy into it. So they had been doing it to that major level, you know, before I even got there. But when I came, I was able to kind of, you know, come into the organization and bring a new perspective, which I think, you know, allowed us to do a lot of stuff that we hadn't done before in a different light.
So also touching on your previous response, what are some of the values you learned from Phi Beta Sigma that you were able to apply to Pillars?
Right. So first, you know, merch, right? So we always used to make like T-shirts, like with our organization on it. So I don't know if you remember, but every event we would have a new shirt, and all of our members would wear it. So that was really my first time getting a chance to be creative with the apparel, and then that's something that I implemented into when I came into the organization, just always having representation, a new outfit when we go out, so we can be you know what I'm saying, unison in one. So that was something that I tried to do, and I brought that in, and I was able to, you know, create different designs and different shirts, and then we would sell them every once in a while. So that was like my first taste of, okay, you know, moving merch.
Right. And also, in regards to the different T-shirts you all used to have, I remember y'all having the Money Team T-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember y'all having the money counter, you know, at the Sigma house. And so, you know, back then, seeing a money counter was like, damn, this thing's got a money counter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, when it comes to yourself, bro, I feel like you always been good with money. Right. Who taught you financial literacy?
Man, I really just, like you said, I taught myself. I just always had wanted to be involved with money. Like, you know, anything I could do to get some money, you know what I'm saying? Just that hustle mentality, you know what I'm saying? From middle school, playing, you know, flipping quarters, or, you know, gambling, just doing anything to try to get some money. So, you know, once I came into that organization, it was different ways to do it. So, you know, I'm like, cool, I want to get a money counter. We ain't had that much money, but I just wanted, I wanted that money counter, you know what I'm saying? Just to kind of bring stuff into fruition, and, you know what I'm saying, like that just made, like you said, you see it and you believe it.
And one more thing about our college days, bro, I noticed about yourself, and a few others noticed, you didn't really smoke or drink, you know what I'm saying? If we saw you with a bottle, it was Welch's Sparkling Grape, you know what I'm saying? So tell us about the discipline you was able to, you know, keep intact, because Charleston was wild.
Charleston was wild, especially us, because like you said, we was throwing the parties. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I always wanted to be focused, and I didn't have anything against drinking. I just hadn't never done it. Right. So I didn't really see a reason why I should. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't opposed to it. I just hadn't done it. But that's the reason that's just why I never did it. I just hadn't gotten into it. It wasn't something that I just was interested in doing at that time.
Word. And just one more question about college, and we're going to move on to the next subject. Like I mentioned earlier, you being a member of Phi Beta Sigma, out of all the different Greek organizations, you know, there might be a young man who's on his way to college now, or a freshman in college, you know, and he's seeing these different type of letters and colors. Right. What made you go the blue and white Phi Beta Sigma route?
Right. So the reason that I joined the organization was really just a brotherhood of the people that was there when I was there, right? So I felt a connection with them. It was like family, and that really only made sense. So honestly, you know, just being around those people, receiving that love, and thinking like this is a good place for me to be, you know what I'm saying? Especially, I came to Eastern, I literally didn't get there until like, my first time coming there was when I first stepped foot on campus, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't visit it or didn't know too many people besides, you know, 2 or 3 people that was on the campus. So to be welcomed in, that was dope.
Now that part you just said is interesting, because you went to high school in Georgia, and you came to Illinois to go to college. Now you go to EIU without having to visit or none at all. So what made you pick EIU out of all the schools?
My people, man, my aunt, she's an alumni at Eastern. Okay. And she just wanted me to go to school. So originally, after I graduated, I didn't even go to college. You know, I graduated in 2007. I didn't go to college till 2008. Okay. So, you know, I was chilling at the crib, just working 2, 3 jobs, you know what I mean, just trying to stack my bread. And everybody was kind of pushing me like, hey, you should go to college, you should go to college. So I was going to do the thing in Atlanta, but the room and board was just so expensive. And I'm like, I don't want to go to college and live at home. Like, that was kind of lame to me. So I only applied to 2 colleges, Georgia State and Eastern, just because my auntie, you know, she always wanted us to do as many college applications. So that was my only other choice.
Okay, cool. So you graduated from EIU. What year you graduated? Was it 2013 or 13? Yeah. So what's your, because I feel like, you know, when you graduate college, you're like, man, I'm finna go get me a good job. I'm finna make me some money. Yeah. I done made it. You know what I'm saying? What was your train of thought and your mindset after walking across that stage?
Man, I was never really tapped into the college thing, you know what I mean? I just really, it wasn't for me, you know what I'm saying? I was doing it. So when I was in college, man, I was running the business of Sigma, you know what I'm saying? Like, my main focus was just, you know, like the activities. I was never really just like in the books or, you know, looking for that job. You know, at that time I was playing poker heavy. Mm-hmm. So when I graduated, I didn't even want a job. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't in me. I always was able to kind of produce on my own. So I wasn't looking forward to doing something like that. I always had aspirations of, you know, just doing my own thing and enjoying my life how I felt necessary.
Word. Now we're gonna talk about poker. I was gonna wait till a little bit later on in the interview, but since you just mentioned, I do remember you like being a fake poker professional. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and that's where I picked it up. I picked it up in college, just reading books and then just playing. You know, we would play every night, and I just, you know, try to continue to do it and get better at it. So yeah.
So what made you interested in poker? Like out of all the card games.
I would see it on TV, man, and I'm just like, I gotta learn how to play. It was just dope, you know what I mean, to watch on TV. You know what I mean? So I would see it on TV, and then I wanted to learn how to play it. And then once I learned how to play it, I'm like, man, it's a crazy game. I gotta learn how to master it. But you can never really do that. So that's something that's crazy about the game. It's like it's a learning experience every time you play.
That's interesting. You say you used to see it on TV, because when I used to see it on TV, I just changed the channel. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just see these guys sitting around this card table with these shades on. I'm not familiar with poker at all, but to hear you say, you used to see it, and that's how you became interested. It just shows me how, how life is, bro. We all can see the same shit, but we perceive it different, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think that's real dope. So you graduate, you playing poker. I know before you started Pillars, you was working a job.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your experience in the work field?
Right. So I was doing mortgage. At that time, I had a couple different situations, but when I first was thinking about starting Pillars, I wasn't working. And then, I fell on hard times, so I had to get a job. So I was like, okay, let me go to work, but I need to kind of continue to think about something to get out of that job. And that's what Pillars was birthed.
Okay. So tell me about the ideas and the train of thoughts. If we take it back 10 years ago around this time, I had Cooley University all over EIU, you know what I'm saying? And I could tell you that was just literally a dream that I had. Like, I want to start a clothing brand with my homies, Yeah. And on that note, I meant to tell you this in the beginning of the interview, so I say it now. You see me with Pillars on all the time. Everybody see me with Pillars on. Hey, cuz, what'd you say the other day, cuz?
Man.
Every time I call him when I get on work, I got on some different type of
mascot.
He's like, this nigga got on, But the reason is because Pillars has became exactly what I dreamed about. See what I'm saying? From the way you got it structured with your team, to the way it's flooding the city, and the way it's like, how can I say it? Relatable. You know what I'm saying? It's Pillars.
Right.
You and your team, y'all the pillars. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about the definition of pillars in the name later on, but just tell us about the ideas you was having, what was going on.
So it's really not that deep, man, and I wish it was. When I tell people always ask, but it's just really not that deep. I just knew that we had to do something, right? And I wanted to, the same thing you said, you wanted to get as many people involved as you could, right? So that would be selling, obviously, like, you can make a lot of money selling products, you know what I'm saying? So I was always a product-based business versus a service-based business because it has limitations, right? So we went through a lot of different ideas in terms of what to sell, and we came up with the clothing.
What were some of the different ideas?
We wanted to sell shoes. That was first, man. It was me and Mike, man. So, we was always into the shoes, you know what I mean? But we just didn't have the finances or the resources, you know what I'm saying? Like, shoes drop, you trying to fight to get 1-2 pair, you know what I'm saying? You can't open no store like that. Right. We both had our own collections that we was willing to sell, but that's just like when you open. Then once you sell those, we would have been kind of out of luck. So we was like, well, we can't do that. Then we was gonna sell hats. Hats is a good business, but we couldn't come up with no dope designs. And then we just landed on T-shirts. But to piggyback off what you said with Cooley, man, I was talking to the guys about it, and that was, y'all definitely had the campus on lock. That was really my first time seeing somebody build a brand, right? And I was tapped in because I'm not sure how you guys was related, but it was something going crazy in Chicago, the Dubia stuff.
Right, that's
right. So I thought that you was like connected with that, and like I said, that was just something that I would see, and we was just reminiscing, like, okay, Dubia was going crazy, and then y'all might have branched off. I knew you was related to it.
That's dope. You just brought that up because Dubia was owned by my best friend, and see, so when we started Cooley and Dubia at the same time. Cooley's objective was to run the campus. Dubia's objective was to run the streets. So we got the college kids, we got the street niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's another reason why I love Pillars so much, because I can go to O Block right now, and there's gonna be some shorties with Pillars on. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all got the streets. Right. And you know, we can go to EIU and there's gonna be some shorties with Pillars on. Y'all got the campuses, so that's real good.
But y'all had like the city was really going, you know what I'm saying? And obviously y'all had the campus as well, so y'all was really doing what y'all was set out to do.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, I know you had different names before you fell upon Pillars. What were some of the different names you had?
Honestly, man, I don't know, man. We had like 100 names, bro. Like we would just, anytime we would think of a name, we'd just kind of write it down. So it's been a while. You know, that was in 2014, 15 when we first started trying to come up with names, and we ain't really started the brand to 2016.
Right.
So I do know some of them because we did logos. So we was like B5. It was like B5, Boo 14, and a lot of other trash stuff. Right. Could you imagine calling Boo 14?
But you knew you wanted to do clothing for sure.
Yeah. So I think
out the name later.
Right. So actually, I lied. The Boo 14 was a store. It wasn't about the clothes. So we was gonna open a store, right? And that's crazy that you just brought that up because I forgot all about this. At first, we were just gonna open a store. We wasn't gonna sell our own clothes. We were gonna sell other people's clothing. Okay. So that was actually our main objective. Okay. That's crazy you just brought that out. I forgot all about that. Mm-hmm. So we was just gonna open a store just like, you know, like your Jimmy Jazz, your Detail Lot, stuff like that. We was gonna source other brands. Mm-hmm. And then what happened was when we went down there and we seen how expensive their clothing was, we didn't think that we could sell the clothing for that much because we would have had to been paying like $40, $50 for a t-shirt. And then we would have had to sell it for $100. Right. And we like, man, we can't sell that. You know what I mean? We didn't have confidence in their clothing, so we elected to make our own shirts and sell it for a more reasonable price.
Yeah. Which made sense. Right. Now, so I was watching the Terry Rosen podcast. It was great. I loved it from top to bottom, Brian.
Shout out to Terry, man. He dope.
Yeah, I love the way you answered everything he brought forth. But one thing that stuck out to me was how you kind of like stumbled upon Pillars being the name of the brand. You was at the Magic Trade Show, and you said they was asking you like, what's the name of your brand? You was like, I ain't got one. They like, no, you need one. Right. And you just spit out Pillars.
Right. Well, Pillars was on the list. So what actually happened is I was trying to get access to that trade show, right? So you got to have your paperwork in order. You got to create an organization. You got to have your EIN. You got to make your LLC and all that stuff. So when I was going through that process with my lawyer, he was the one who was saying, okay, we're starting a business. What's the name of it? I'm like, you know, I didn't have a name at that time. So he was kind of pressuring me. So I opened up that name list, and Pillars was one of the names on the list.
Okay. Yeah. And tell us, how did that roll off your tongue? What is it about Pillars? What made it, out of all the names, right, you know what I'm saying? Boo 14, etc. Right. How did Pillars roll off your tongue? Before you answer that, I just want to say, I really felt you when you said that in the interview, because when I started this channel, DJUTV just rolled off my tongue. At first I was calling it Everything on Us, but that was just sounding like too much, Everything on Us, you know? Right. But the moment I said DJUTV, let them know who we got in the building, I knew I had a hit, you know? Yeah. So how did Pillars roll off your tongue like that?
Honestly, like I said, it didn't roll off. It just jumped out at me. At that time, we was actually Pillars Fashion Club. Right. So you know, we had done a rebrand, which we dropped, you know, the other stuff and just became straight Pillars, which you know, which is what you know the brand today. But when we first started, we was Pillars Fashion Club. Mm-hmm. So you know, that was just what we selected, and then, you know, it was a lot of fashion stuff, right? So when we dropped and then, you know, we released our Start Clothing, new brands started popping up. And there was a lot of people with like fashion this, fashion that, fashion that. And then we was like, okay, we got to kind of, you know, rebrand. And that's when we dropped that Fashion Club and we just went straight Pillars.
Okay. And that's dope, because I never knew you dropped the Fashion Club. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what, if you think about it, so really, if you see the Fashion Club, it's really retro. Right. So that's one of our most popular hoodies. It was the first hoodie we had. It was Pillars Fashion Club across the chest. A lot of people like it, but if you look around, you don't see it. You don't see it that much. So anytime we drop it, it's retro.
Okay. Yeah. That's what's up. Okay, so at this point, you just started Pillars. Like you got the name. Tell us about you linking up with your partner and building a team.
Right. So I linked up with him initially, like when I had the idea, right? So then we would just go back and forth trying to get the name, and then I was like, hey, my people tell me about this trade show. Now it's time to do it. Then we made the name, and then actually once we started selling merch, that's when the guys that's in the organization now, they seen interest in it, and they was like, hey, I want to be a part of this, and we was like, come on in. It was all love. So that's how the team grow. People would reach out to us and say, I like what y'all doing. I want to be a part of it. And we'd say, let's get it.
Okay, cool. So now you got your name, you got your team, you got the idea. What's the first step as far as production is concerned to let the city know this is Pillars Fashion Club?
Right. So our first move, we dropped 3 T-shirts. It was on Labor Day. So we had a barbecue.
2016, right?
Yep. We had a barbecue going down. It was a barbecue going down, and we had about 200-300 T-shirts we had cooked up. Okay. And we took them to the barbecue, and we started selling them.
Okay. So when you say 200, 300 T-shirts, about how much money are we looking at to spend on 200, 300 T-shirts?
I'm not sure, man. That was a while ago. I'll probably say like $7 to $10 a shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means you spent roughly
like $2,000 to $3,000
starting out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you start out with these 3 T-shirts. How do those sell?
And it's crazy you ask, because I wasn't even there when we first started selling our shirts, because I was in Atlanta, right? Okay. So we had made the call, and then all of our market is in Chicago. Mm-hmm. So the event was in Chicago, so I couldn't make it to it. So Mike, my partner, he was the one who put the order in, got the shirts, and then they went to the event. And I didn't really know what was going down. You know what I'm saying? I seen pictures. I seen, people taking pictures in the shirts. Or he was kind of giving me ideas of how, how stuff was looking. People was rocking with it, though. So that was a big event for us. And they sold a nice amount of shirts, especially coming from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Selling anything is a blessing because you don't really know how people going to react. But, everybody was into it, and we sold a nice amount.
Okay, cool. Because I think the first time I saw Pillars, like with my own 2 eyes, like, all right, this what they on, this what they doing, was when we used to take a trip to Houston every year for Hood Holiday. Yeah. And at Hood Holiday, we used to have the pop-up shops, and man, if I can remember Hood Holiday pop-up shops, I was DJing and everybody was buying Pillars, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And at that time, y'all had the good morning tees, for the ladies with the nipple, designs and stuff like that. Y'all had hats at the time. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is for you to touch on how important the pop-up shops were for you when you were starting out.
That was all we had, because that was the only way we can get in contact with our customers, right? So we didn't have like a huge online presence. We didn't have like a lot of opportunities to meet new people. So the pop-up shops, we knew, that would be a customer, somebody that's coming in looking to make a purchase. So, any pop-up shop that we could get into, we would. And then obviously, the Hood Holiday, with that just being a lot of people that's already support us in so many years, that was just a no-brainer.
Yeah. Tell us how great the EIU support system was in the beginning.
Like, literally, like our early days of people supporting us is really what got us to this point, right? Yep. Because we didn't have customers at first. We just had friends and family. And those are the people that continuously bought our products until we was able to find customers. For sure. Like without that, like we literally wouldn't have a business because they supported us for so long until we figured it out.
Yeah. EIU always had a great support system. I learned that back in my Cooley days, and I had made up in my mind one day, I said, man, if we get everybody on campus to buy one of these shirts, then we're gonna be rich. And then when you think about it, everybody we going to school with, they finna graduate, they finna get good jobs, so they gonna have a little money to spend with us. Like, we finna get rich, And that's why I'm so proud of your brand, because that's what y'all did. Like,
And you don't even need that many people, man. People say, why don't you go to other places? Like, you can just take care of your community, man, and that's all you need. You just need a tight community of people that constantly rock with you, and those numbers will start adding up real quick.
The word community just stood out to me, and that's gonna lead me to my next question. A couple years ago, we had the riots and the looting, and Pillars was hit a few times. You know what I'm saying? But through that storm, you had created a GoFundMe account that I know you really weren't trying to create. It was probably something knocking against your pride.
Right.
But you've always been a smart businessman, I could tell. So you knew you had to do what you had to do.
Right.
And I remember like Polo G, sending y'all like $6,000. Can you just go back to that time and tell me what was going on as far as your business and the community?
That was a crazy time for us, bro. Like you said, so we was getting looted. Both of our stores got looted. Like it was a lot of stuff going on, especially during a time where I think our business was kind of slow at that time too. So the hardship started coming. And then once the looting stuff happened, I had people reaching out to me like, hey, we know your stores had got vandalized. We want to support you, but we didn't have a way for people to support us. So people, some people wasn't taking no for an answer. They sending us money, they sending it to other members of the organization. So I had to create a way for us to give people the opportunity to do it just to keep track of it, right? So it's 9 of us in this organization. I didn't want just 9 people collecting money, right? So I was like, man, I gotta do it because people not taking no for an answer. So we created the GoFundMe, man, and the love just started pouring in, like from all which ways, and that was like something that was really crazy for me to see, because I'm like, man, people really rock with what we doing.
For sure. So you start, I'm sorry. So, but before all the looting shit started, just going back to when you started the brand, pop-up shops, you're starting to gain some traction. Tell us what was going on leading up to opening the first store on Madison.
So we really didn't have a lot shaking, man, when we opened our store, and that's the reason that we opened it. I'm super progressive, right? So every time we would make an order, we would do bigger than the last order. You know what I'm saying? And I would push my team to kind of do more sales. And the sales wasn't coming in, so then basically we just had more product, right? So we was ahead of our curve in terms of we had the product, but we didn't have the customer. And that made us work hard to try to go out there every day and get the customer, because we had so much product. Right, so we got that monkey on our back saying, man, we know we got all these hoodies, we got to sell them. So that I kept the pressure on the team in terms of like trying to move us forward in terms of getting to where we wanted to be, but stuff wasn't moving quick enough, right? Because the pop-up shop started slowing down. It just wasn't that many of them. So then I had to kind of say, hey, the next step is that we got to get a store so we can sell product every day, because the online stuff just wasn't working for us. People wanted to touch our clothing. They wanted to try it on. They wanted to feel it. No one wanted us to ship it to them. But most of our customer was already in the city. They was local.
Right.
So, everybody want to pull up.
Right.
They want you to pull up on them. Right. They don't want to go online or get
especially if they know you. They don't feel like
they don't respect it. They don't respect it enough.
Right.
So you got to earn that respect, and that's that is what it is. So that was something that if I got this shirt right here, and somebody say, "Oh, I'm gonna check you out online," they really not trying to rock with you at that time, which is cool.
Okay, cool. So tell us about some of the success the Madison location had that led to you opening the second location, which was 87th Street, correct?
87. Yep, that's correct. So Madison, when we first started, it was love, man. People came in, they showed love, but that ran out real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like the grand opening, it was packed wall to wall, which, we obviously appreciate. And then a couple weeks after, the people that didn't get to make it, they was coming in. And then the door stopped swinging. You know what I'm saying? Like the sales stopped coming in because, we didn't, like I said, we really just didn't have a lot of customers. We just had a lot of supporters. So we had to really figure out and go through those hard times of realizing that we still got work to do. Right. You know what I'm saying? And once I realized we still got work to do, I went back to the drawing board saying we need more opportunity, right? So the more people that we can meet, the more people that the more items we can sell. So I knew right away, like that one store wasn't gonna cut it. We needed to be in two places at one time because, you know, they're not coming to this store enough. So we need to open another store, give them more chances to come see us.
That's what's up. And I also remember back during your starting out days, you used to display the advantages you was taking of PayPal credit. And like I said at the beginning of this interview, when I look at you, I do see a guy that's financially literate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what you're doing with some money.
Right.
So real quick, can you just like tell us the importance of business credit?
Yeah, I can. And when we started, we didn't have it. Like that PayPal stuff wasn't really business credit. It was just like a merchant advance or something like that. But credit is dope if you have it, right? But if you don't need it, right? We didn't have a ton of credit. And that PayPal stuff, it started out small and we built it.
Right.
So you don't need a lot of money to start. You don't need a lot of credit. But if you have it, obviously that helps. But that's what I tell everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we started with $2,000, $3,000. You know what I'm saying? Which sounds like a lot of money, but I'm sure, you know, that's achievable. And you don't have to start with that much. You can start with $500. You can start with $300. You know what I mean? You just got to start, and then you double up, you double up, you double up. So that was always my method, is just starting and then to double up.
Okay, cool. Now you say double up. I heard you say in the other podcast how you went from making $50K in a year to $100K, from $100K to, you know, however you had it staggered. Eventually you made $1 million in sales. $1 million came in 2019, so that was your 4th year in business. Third year.
It depends on how you look at it, right? Because I tell people, like, the business started in 2016, but we thought we was in business, but we really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And then 2019, we opened our first store.
Right.
And then we thought we was in business then, but we really wasn't. And then, you know, we just opened this store last year. Now we in business. You know what I mean? Like, now we in business. So we started to realize, like, you know, that was just all preliminary work. You know, that was just really us, you know, the practice before the game, right? So now we in the game. We 4 stores in. We actually finna be opening our 5th store in Orland Mall this year. So no one knows that yet. Shout out to you, you know what I'm saying, right? So we'll probably open that this summer in Orland Mall, the 5th store, and now we in business.
Big, right. Yeah, that's big. So you gotta walk us through this, man. Cause a lot of Chicago brands, first of all, I love the Chicago clothing brand industry. You know what I'm saying? We got Pillars and Sweats by Stu and Scoop Era, you know what I'm saying? Rich So, like Fashion Geek, of course, leaders. I can't forget the OGs, but I love the Chicago clothing brand industry. And Pillars is like that, simple, you know, not doing too much, but definitely getting the job done. So in 4 to 5 years, you was able to go from 1 store to 4, working on your 5th. I'm sure you inspired a lot of clothing brands to at least get 1. You know what I'm saying? Right. How did we go from 1 to 4 in such a quick time, really?
Right, because I would say, like, it comes back from just like my history was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like that gambling mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't lose, and I wasn't afraid to lose, right? Because, you know, when you gambling, when you playing, you're going to lose some, you're going to win some. You know what I mean? So investing into some money, into a business, you know, you really can't lose when you invest into yourself. Now, if you go to the casino, you put $1,000 on the table, they can take it and it's gone. But if I put $1,000 in these shirts, it's not gone. It's just in the shirts. You know what I mean? I can always sell these shirts. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like that mentality of understanding it's not a chance I can lose. I could ask somebody to buy it and they could say no, but I still got that money. Exactly. I still got that value, right? Exactly. That stuff that I invested, it holds its value. So I just was never scared to make that investment. So once we did it once, I might double down. And I do it again, and then I double down. So I just kept doubling down because I've lost money before, but not in business because it's impossible, right? Because I'm buying product. So I'm just changing the money.
I'm glad you just brought up your gambling habit, you know, because I remember you told me that same answer before, and it really stood out to me. Like, damn, if Smart was a person, it'd be this nigga, because he figured out, like, bro, if I'm playing with money at this casino and I go invest the same amount of money into these products, fuck taking a chance. I know I'm finna quadruple my money.
Got to.
You know what I'm saying? But even still to this day, you take your trips to the boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can you what you got a gambling addiction?
Not addiction, man. I'm just infatuated with the strategy behind it, right? So
what games you be playing at the boat?
I play poker, I play roulette, I play baccarat, you know, but it's just like I enjoy like the strategy, you know what I'm saying, the strategy behind it. And obviously, you know, the ups and downs, you win, you lose, but it's really, it just keeps your mind thinking, you know what I'm saying, because there's probability involved. It's a lot of stuff that you can kind of put into it versus you just walking up to the table and trying to play, right? So if you have a different perspective of it, it gets real deep, and that's where my mind gets to work the most. And honestly, when I'm at the casino, I get a chance to really think and be by myself and be present into kind of what I'm doing. And anytime I lose, that just lights a fire under me to go heavier in my business.
Word.
So it's been plenty of times I would go to the casino and I lose, and I'm like, you know what that means? I got to go crazy with pillars. And then I would, you know, either think of a new product to drop or create a sale or do something to move the needle forward, right? Make that money back, and that end up, you know what I'm saying, being way better than the situation. So I just use that as a long time, you know, because you got to kind of step away from the business, and then it's something that I just enjoy.
What's the most amount of money you ever lost at the casino?
Probably like 30,000.
Damn. So what's the most you ever won?
Probably like 400.
400K?
Yeah.
Cause we sure just saw you post 300 like a few months ago, last month. I'm damn.
Yeah.
Folks going crazy.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. So at this point, bro, you got a established brand. You know, you're making waves throughout the city. Family and friends, I started to notice. We're seeing strangers with it on, so we know that it's growing. Now we go to a third store. We in Forest City, and now it's like, damn, they in the mall. You know what I'm saying? It's a different type of dynamic. And then you come here, which was like what? You up in Forest City, and first of all, we gonna do the timeline because this is March 2022. You did the Madison joint March 2019, correct?
March 2019.
And then 87 came later that year, October.
87 came. Damn, when 87? Oh.
Or the beginning of 2020?
No, it was the same year.
Right.
Yeah,
I think it was October 2019.
Right. Yeah.
Then Forest City came.
It was December? It was December.
Yeah.
It was December.
And now we here in Chicago Ridge.
Right, so Forest City came January of 2020, I want to say.
Right.
Yeah, no. Damn.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's been so frequent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's like a common thing.
Right.
You know?
So
a nigga got so used to telling you.
It came January of 2021. It would have had to been 2021.
Right.
Right. Yep, 2021.
I'm
so
about
we
to say
opened Forest City 2021, and then we opened this one October of 2021.
Man, we got so used to telling you congratulations, it got to the point where like, oh, okay, well, shit, another store.
Yeah, for sure.
They finna go open another one tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
We got two more coming, man. We got two more coming. Then we gonna chill a little bit, but we gotta. What I like to do is just set up the parameters, right? So right now we building our infrastructure. You know what I'm saying, and that gives us the opportunity to distribute our product. You know, how we want to, you know, and the magnitude that we think we can, but we got to kind of build, you know, the structure. So that's what we're doing now. We placing, you know, the stores in different areas. We building the infrastructure. Then we're gonna bring the people in. Then we're gonna flood the streets with the product. So it's different phases. So, but we've always been on a growth phase from day one. So that's why you see stuff happening so fast, because we gotta build the ship to make it run.
So in the first 5 years, Pillars gross $9 million. That's correct.
In the first 5 years, just like the life of the business. Somewhere around like 10,000.
10
million, yeah.
Right. And you wore the same Air Force Ones throughout the whole 4-5 years?
Not the same ones the whole time, but probably like 3-4 years out there, you know what I'm saying, we was grinding. So, you know, we did a lot of grinding, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just an Air Force One type of guy. And then people would kind of, you know, question the shoes, and I'm just like, once you start moving and grooving, you don't even really pay attention to a lot of stuff. So, you know, at that point, I wanted to kind of make that a symbol of, you know, the hard work that we was putting in, because I always try to show that, you know what I'm saying? I show like the wins, but I show like the same amount of work. So people that kind of look at my story, you know, you go to my page, it's just a chronological timeline of literally everything that we go through, you know what I'm saying? Like good, bad, wins, losses. And, you know, it's a lot of work involved. Like we work 24/7. We've been working every day for 5-6 years, you know what I'm saying, to get to where we at today. So you can look at the shoes and you can see the work.
For sure. Y'all definitely be open on holidays.
Every day.
At least 4 hours.
Man, you know, we always got to do it because we get to do things that other people won't do. And that was something that I always wanted to do from day one, right? Because I know, like, there's no competition. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's Christmas Day and everybody's closed, we going to be open, like you said, for 3-4 hours for those people that want to go and grab that last minute thing, right? I want to be available to you when you need me instead of me telling you when you can come see me. We going to always be here. We open every day from this hour to this hour. You can decide when you're going to come see us, but we going to be ready for you.
Right. Now, but you mentioned Air Force Ones, I wanted to ask you, because, you know, you said you started out with interest of selling shoes, you know. Then once you got pillars going, you eventually got back into the shoes, and now we can come to your store and see a wall full of. Can you touch on like the shoe industry real quick, and you know how you're able to tie that into your brand?
Yeah, shoes are a good piece because shoes make people come in, right? So it might be a customer that's not interested in my brand, but they're interested in the shoes. So then we started to realize, okay, you know, some people not gonna rock with pillars. They're not gonna appreciate it. They're not gonna see value in it. But we can get products that they already want, right? You want the Jordans, you want the Yeezys, you want these specific products, so we can provide those to you as well. So that was the concept of why we brought shoes in, because we wanted to get as many customers, right? So instead of convincing you to buy something, now you're calling us to buy something that you already want. So that's just an easy sale, right? So that was one of the reasons that we elected to bring the shoes in, and then they just complement, you know, the stuff that we already got.
Right. So with the shoes and the clothes, it's kind of like a one-stop shop. If you want to come get fresh, you can come to Pillars. You can grab you a fly sweatsuit, throw some Yeezys, some Jordans on with it, be out the door, and you good.
Definitely an option.
I've seen NBA players wearing Pillars fits before the games, you know. I saw Lala with Pillars on, you know. One thing I admired about your brand though is that you never like chase after celebrities or influencers to put your shit on so it could pop. You kind of made it to where if you want this, you got to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How were you able to like keep that type of distance? Because, you know, a lot of clothing brands starting out, they feel like they got to go put some on Ari, you know what I'm saying? Or put some on this rapper, you know? They go like that, but you never really went that route.
Well, we tried it a few times, but it just didn't work out. So when you're dealing with influencers, right, it just got to be a good fit. So we've definitely done it, not a lot, but we've gifted merch, but we just didn't see that return. And what I started to realize is, man, that the community the people that rock with us, they will champion our brand more than, you know, that person that I had to reach out to and say, hey, you know, I want you to wear this. You know, they might wear it, they might not, they might post it, they might not. But if it's somebody that rocks with me and I get them that hoodie, they gonna wear it all the time and they gonna say how great it is and stuff like that. So we started to really just, you know, really tap into the people that already supported us. So that's something that we look forward to, but we haven't had it yet, right? That's influence is something that moves your brand forward, right? So the right person can really light a fire under your brand. And we've seen it happen for other brands. It just hasn't happened for us yet, but we want it it to happen organically. We want someone to see the value in our brand and say, hey, this is something I rock with, and it just happens to blow up that way. So man, we can't wait for that to happen, because we know, like, we see what we do by ourselves, right? So when we get that right influencer to co-sign us, we think it's gonna go crazy.
And I feel like nowadays, any influencer that come forth, they're definitely gonna respect it more, you know, versus when you first started out. See, because if I'm an influencer, or if I'm anybody with all this type of clout, and I come see what y'all got going on, y'all got 4 stores. Y'all don't need me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But so now it's like, I would love to do this favor for you, you know, because you're already doing good by yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I can help, you know, that'd be dope. Okay, so now you got 4 stores. You got some of the hottest threads in the city, the most wanted shoes. How do you grow from here? What do you go from here? Is it just a matter of, because now, I mean, at least in my eyes, I see Pillars as being in every mall. Like, Pillars being a mall thing. Is that the kind of the direction you're looking at?
We definitely moving to the malls, man, because like I said, our thing has always been opportunity, right? And so now we got 2 malls, we got 2 standalone locations, and we see that the more opportunity we have, the more successful we can be. And you know, it's a lot of people that come to these malls, so we started to target high traffic areas. You know, so that's why you know, saying we're moving into Orland Mall, which is one of the top malls in the state. You know, the Chicago Ridge Mall, where we are, you know, one of the top malls in the state. These are places that people go every day. You know, we don't got to worry about people walking in our doors. We just got to focus on converting, you know, giving them some opportunity to purchase our products. So, like I said, this is part of our structure, our infrastructure that we're building. We want to, you know, set these locations up, and then, you know, go into our second phase of business, which is obviously moving the product.
For sure. Now, for a young man that's looking at this video, see, because a lot of guys are really inspired by you, they're motivated by you. You done became the guy to look up to if I want to start a clothing brand. You know what I'm saying? And we all know that starting business is something that's it's mind-boggling. You know, you never know how you want to start or where you want to start. You know, stuff like that. So if a young man that's asking you, like, you know, how do I start or what should I do? What's a little quick piece of advice you'll give him?
My thing is just start. Like, I can't tell you what should you do, because, you know, like, you gotta believe in it, right? You know, so when I started, I just knew that this was what I was gonna be doing forever. You know, from day one, I knew that I wasn't gonna stop doing it. And if you know that, then you'll figure everything out on the way. You know, so if you would have asked me day one, we wasn't interested in stores. You know, if you talk to my team, I change my mind every day about something. They ask me a question and say, "Are we gonna do this?" I'd be like, "No." 2 days later, we doing it. You know what I mean? Because you just gotta learn as you go, and, you know, just figure it out. So, but the most important thing is starting. So just start, and then go through the process, and then you're gonna adapt to whatever is going on, right? If it's hot outside, you're gonna take your shirt off. If it's cold, you're gonna put a coat on. You know, so go down that road and see what they throw at you, and then adapt to that.
Man, I feel like in terms of the different spectrums of money, spending, saving, investing, or even gambling, you kind of got a good idea of all of them. Right. Which is the most important when it comes to the dollar?
I'm gonna say the gambling, because that, and for me, right, I can only speak for myself, but that allowed me to take risks, right? So what I'm able to do is fight my fears. You know what I'm saying? If I see that I'm being reluctant to do something, it makes me want to do it more. Okay. Because you can't be afraid of failure, right? So that gambling introduced me to failure a lot. You know what I'm saying? I was oftentimes failing, not being successful, and that allowed me to be better at business. You know what I mean? Because I'm developing that mentality of understanding, like, okay, you can fail and it'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? You can bounce back from it. So that's the most important thing to me, because before I was doing all that other stuff, I was gambling and I was failing. And then you would get that taste of success, and then that'll give you enough to go through the failures again, because you know that you can get more success out of it.
I'm glad you mentioned failure because I actually took down some notes. You wrote about failure. Failure is a common denominator and the formula to success. When we are able to accept that, we are able to truly succeed. So you have absolutely no fear of failure.
No fear, because I do it every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't win them all, but you only got to win once. You know what I mean? So I could try 100 things. If that 101 hits, I'm to the moon. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody gonna talk about, like, man, it took you long enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to be a millionaire for 5 years. If you get there on your 6th year, you straight. You know, so, but you can't win if you don't play.
Exactly. You can't say you miss 100% of the shots you don't shoot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And with no risk, there's no reward. Talk to us about Black Friday. That seems to be your favorite day of the year.
Man, I love Black Friday, and the reason I love it because we failed at it. You know, so I got a lot of friends that's in the business, that's in the e-commerce space. You know, they do online sales and stuff like that, and they would just always like go crazy on Black Friday. You know, making hundreds and millions of dollars in a business. And then I tried it one year. I was like, okay, we're gonna do a Black Friday situation. I mean, we made like $100, $200 online or something like that. We didn't get the response we needed, and I'm just like, but I knew it was possible because I seen other people do it. So, you know, the next year, that's when we started doing those sales that you see us do for Black Friday, and we was like, okay, cool, we need to adjust the plan and come back. So it's a lot of opportunity on Black Friday. It's a lot of good energy around it. You know, that's a consumer day where people are looking to spend money. So that gives us another opportunity to, you know, try to run it up. So every year we try to do something crazy on Black Friday just to give our customers, you know, something new.
For sure. Can you tell us some of the guys you look up to in the fashion industry?
Who do I look up to?
Or I would say, guys, you said you were looking at the Black Friday.
Yeah, so these are my buddies, man. I got a buddy who's in skincare, man. He was really like the first guy that I knew that was really doing like crazy numbers on Black Friday. This was a couple of years ago. He was doing hundreds of thousands of dollars, like $100K, $200K. He's in skincare. His name is Dave. Then I know a couple ladies that have online boutiques. You know, they was really successful on Black Friday. But it's not a lot of people that do what we do, how we do it. So it's a lot of respect. You know, I respect a lot of brands, especially locally here. But it's hard to compare what we do to those brands. And I just don't think it's fair to do that, so I try not to.
Well, I noticed you do got a decent relationship with Sherrod, the owner of God is Dope. And he done made millions off selling a $10 T-shirt.
Yes, sir.
What's some of the pointers he gave you?
And that's a good. I forgot about him, man. I definitely look up to Sherrod because it's a lot of stuff that you don't see, and his business structure that that is crazy. You know, his business is uber successful. You know, it's branched out to a lot of different areas. We don't do the same thing, so it's hard for us to have a conversation because like the way that he built his brand is different from mine. You know, we have a luxury brand. He has a concept, right? So there's certain steps that we have to take to protect our brand that he doesn't necessarily have to worry about. So when he would kind of give me advice, it just didn't make sense for what we was trying to create. But you know, just seeing the stuff that he does, you know, like being in his presence and having conversations with him, like that was all the ammo I needed.
Yeah, for sure. So nowadays, or most recently, you started your second round of your investment group. You got an investment group in which you got a group of people that donate $50, or I don't want to say donate, but invest $50 every week. And I'll let you explain that further.
Yeah, so that's actually a dope concept, man, and I'm proud of myself for even creating it, man, because I'm
smart was a person.
I started to realize, man, really what I did was just create my own banking institution, right? So, like when people go to the bank, right? Why do you go to the bank and deposit a $5,000 check, a $10,000 check into the bank, right? The reason is because you have confidence in the brand. right? You have confidence in Chase, you have confidence in Wells Fargo that your money is safe. You know what I mean? You know that if you need it, you can get it. So that's kind of the concept I created with Pillars being our backing, is that people had faith that the money was safe and they invested it in there and then they get a return on it. So I'm interested to see where that goes, man. I know it's gonna go crazy, if I want to, you know, depending on how I take it. But literally, that's what I'm creating in front of people's eyes is just a banking institution. You know, like I'm not sure if you are understand the concept for like CDs and bonds and stuff like that. So basically, you go to the bank and you want a bond. Say I got a $5,000 bond. Bonds typically have a term. It'll be like 12 months, right? You give us $5,000, you buy this bond. In 12 months, you can come get it back. It'll be $6,000. It'll be worth $6,000. So you purchase that bond. You know, that's money that you don't need at that time. You want to just invest it, get some money on your return. And that's technically what we do with this group is, you know, like you're using your disposable income, and because you're not using it at that time, you're investing it and you're getting it back at a different date.
For sure. And for myself personally, I'm one of the investors in your group, and for me, you know, investing $50 in you and your brand, your business, however, it creates discipline for myself. You know what I'm saying? And it teaches me how to save money better than I had before, and also invest money than I had before. And you know, when you had brought this forth to the masses, you know, when you posted on the internet, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think twice about it. I said I'm gonna take advantage of this. You know, it's $50 a week for the next 24 months. And the results you've shown me with this brand that we're wearing on our chest right now is undeniable. You know what I'm saying? So I know I got $50 I can invest every week. You know, why not? Right. So I really want to say thank you for that opportunity, because you really open the doors for a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? Right. You may not even know it.
No, I do, and I appreciate it, man, because I like to reward people that see value, right? So I did, like you said, I didn't have to convince you. I just, you know, showed people with my actions. So this is the second group. We did it the first time. It was 19 people, and right. This time we got 49 people. Okay, 49. So we had a couple pending transactions that went through. So it's 49 people in it at this time. And I actually want to do some dope stuff. So I know we talked about like that percentage, but my goal is to overpay the people that seen value in it, right? To get that reward, because now, like you said, you're investing in it, and I'm able to use that money to make more money, and the more money that I can make, the more money that I want to reward the group. So it's my goal this year to really exceed what I told you was gonna get. You know, so once we talk about it in a couple of years, we letting everybody know, hey, he said we was gonna do this, but we actually got this. And that's a dope thing to do to the people that seen what we was doing and just, you know, seeing value in it.
Right. Because starting out, we looking at 15%. 15%.
Yeah.
Interest rate.
That's correct.
But you want to make it.
I want to do something crazy with it. You know what I'm saying? I really want. You know, I want to change people's lives. So the thing is, like, even with the first group, we did 15%, and just it changed their perception of, you know, what was going on. Because like you said, you're saving this money. And you can do that on your own, but a lot of times, you know, we don't have the discipline to do it. So, you know, us creating a situation to allow you to do that, now your mind is changing. A lot of people that was in that first group, you know, they got a $5,500, $5,600 check, and they were able to invest that money into, you know, starting their own business. You know, a lot of people started doing Airbnb. They, you know, bought cars, you know, because that's a lump sum of money that you probably wouldn't have saved on your own, but it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and then it's coming back to you. So we're not doing it for you. You're doing it for yourself. You know, we just have the vehicle to do it.
For sure. Right. For sure. Now, your birthday is coming up in August. Yeah. And on that day, you plan on walking in the bank with $1 million check. Dang. And tell the cashier I need it all.
Man, that's crazy you brought that up. Yeah, man, I've been looking at it. I'm like, man, I got some work to do. So we got a lot of work to do, man.
Coming up.
It's coming up. It's coming up. And like I said, you know what I mean? You want to challenge us, like challenges, man. I just constantly want to challenge myself. So last year I cut a check and I dated it. I post dated it for this coming August, and you know what I'm saying. I just gotta grind. So when you see me doing stuff, it's just like, man, just trying to move the needle forward. Keep grinding. Keep grinding. So
I know you gonna make it. Like, you know what I'm saying. But like, how did you come up with that concept? Like, what made you set that goal? Like, I want a meal. Like,
well, I seen it. Jim Carrey actually, you can check it out. Jim Carrey actually did that. You know what I'm saying? He was broken, homeless at the time, and he post-dated a check for himself, and you know it worked out in his favor. So, and it's tough. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? And not to say we don't have the money, but I want that to be my money. You know what I'm saying? Not for the business. You know what I'm saying? I wanna have that money as a personal situation instead of like, you know, the whole goal. So it's not as easy as it sounds, especially as you constantly have to invest into the business and reinvest, right? So I really got to do a lot of work to be able to take that money away and still run the business.
For sure. Yeah. So we coming up. This is spring 2022. We looking at Oil and Mall. You looking to expand back to Georgia anytime soon?
Honestly, I can't say, man. Georgia's just not. I don't know, man. You know, some days it'd be yes, some days it'd be no. But you know, like the type of stuff that we like to sell just doesn't do well in Georgia just because of the weather. You know what I mean? So, you know, Chicago treats us well. Yeah. So, but you know, it'd be cool to have. It probably wouldn't be like a huge store. It might be something small. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, just something to have once I finally move back to Atlanta and, you know, just chill. Mm-hmm. But it wouldn't be like what it is here.
Okay, now I had asked a lot of I had posted on Instagram for the people to ask questions, you know, for yourself. One of the questions was, how has inflation affected your business?
Prices definitely go up, man. The most important thing, the biggest price that we had to endure is the shipping costs. You know what I'm saying? So we do overseas shipping. So those prices have gone up. We honestly haven't raised our prices that much. You know, like you might see a product that was like $90 and it might be like $93 because we like to keep our products in a certain price range, but we just haven't put it out to the customer yet. We've been absorbing it, but I mean it's getting there. So that's something that we always kind of go back and forth about because, you know, as prices go up, you know, like stuff costs more, but you know, people hate when stuff costs more. So we really just kind of go back and forth in terms of what to do about it.
Okay. What were your steps to create your e-commerce store and what website platforms you use?
So when we first started, I used WordPress. You know, I just reached out to somebody that created websites, and she created our website on WordPress. We had that for a few years, but like I said, we aren't heavy on the online side, so it really didn't matter to me. But once we started taking it serious, a lot of people was telling me like, hey, you need to go to Shopify. That's the best place to be. So once we decided to redo our website, we reached out to somebody that built Shopify websites, and that's where we at now. So just reaching out to people that you know, create the sites.
What was the first year in sales that you made a meal? Was that 2019?
Yeah.
You made a meal in sales?
Like we did like 1.6, then we did like 2.5, and then we did 4.3 last year.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's up though? So
No, actually I lied. So we did 1 million, then we did 1.6, then we did 4.3.
That's hard, bro. Man, once again, bro, look, congratulations on everything. This is history that you're making. Like, we ain't seen this in Chicago.
Yeah, no.
We
seen a lot of shit. That's a cool thing. Like I said, there's nobody that's doing it like how we doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you said, there's a lot of dope brands and there's been a lot of successful brands, but they haven't had this strategy involved. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of strategy, a lot of strategical stuff. It's a lot of moving parts, and you know, no one has approached it in this manner, which I think is, you know, just different. So, you know, it's just gonna put us on another level, man. We really trying to do some stuff here that's, you know, that we just really haven't seen before.
Yeah, man. I mean, we came up fashion geek leaders. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. When you put your store across the street from leaders, I say, oh, this nigga, he mean business. Like, he know what he doing.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man, because like even with the first store, man, I never even seen the store. I was just like, man, I told my guys, like, man, find us a store. I had an agent. I linked them up with my guys. I was in Atlanta, and they was like, man, you know, because I trusted them in terms of, like, is it a good area? You know, because me being from here, but I didn't really spend a lot of time, you know, like, I wasn't one of those people that was active, like going out, you know, in middle school. You know, I didn't spend high school here, so I really wasn't familiar with the areas like that. So they was like, it's a decent looking spot, you know. It's a nice neighborhood. It's a store across the street. I didn't even know what Leaders was at that time.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? They was like, it's a dope store across the street. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. They said that was the spot. That's gonna be the spot. It didn't really matter to me where it was, you know, because I knew that our community was gonna come to wherever we went to. So, but that was a good situation to be in for sure. And tops, I rock with Leaders hard, man. We built a good relationship with those guys.
That's what's up, man. Man, so we gonna wrap it up, man. DJUTV, Andre Weave. I like to call you Andre the Giant, man. You're the biggest nigga in Chicago, man. Hey, shout out to Warrior T Productions, you feel me? I definitely had to bring my film crew out for this one. And, man, it's a wrap. DJUTV, we out.
DJ, you go crazy.